Scout, Girl Scout.
You're done. You're done. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 581. Ugh. I am hungover.
Same.
You are hungover too?
I don't know if I'm as hungover as you, but I'm definitely feeling a little...
I just like to thank my hairdresser for the hangover today.
It's always him.
You know what? Okay, so...
They must be a lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun. But the thing is like, Greg is my hairdresser. His husband is Glenn. And Glenn knows when to stop. Yes. He's so smart. So like we're sitting
Even
there,
when he's intoxicated, he's like, nope, can't do it.
We went to dinner. Mm-hmm. We had some margaritas. And we were on our third pitcher, I think. Oh, Lord. Second or third pitcher. I think we only did two. But anyway.
We went from 4 to 2.
But the way they make them at this place is just unbelievable. They use like a half a bottle of tequila.
And they're probably just so delicious, too.
They're delicious. You don't taste a thing. Right. You know? So anyway.
Well, and there's 4 of you, so it's not like
it wasn't that bad. Right. It was like 2 cocktails.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Doesn't sound like
so. We had and dinner was delicious. It was
good.
So good.
Well, at least you ate this time.
Yes, we did. Thank God. And so then we walked back to their place. We're like,
lovely.
Let's have another cocktail. You know, because we had already agreed that if we decided to really tie one on, that we would Uber home. Like we're not gonna fuck around.
Right.
So
that's why you were just going with wild abandon.
Yes.
Because no matter what, it's like,
it didn't matter.
We're not going to drive, so who cares?
But I did say, I go, look, I have to have, my sister's coming over tomorrow. We're recording. I cannot be so hanging over.
Right.
That I cannot function.
Right.
I can be hungover, but I can't be like, Stephanie, you can't.
Like I'm just in the bathroom the whole day.
I'm like, it's so difficult to set up a recording schedule that I can't miss it.
Right.
And so they're like,
That's
no,
funny.
yeah. So we ended up opening a bottle of champagne.
Oh, God.
And then at some point, Glenn goes, it's time for me to go to bed. Good night. And so he went to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Well, and the rest of us stayed. We ultimately went home at like 11.
Oh, that's not bad.
It wasn't bad, but Glenn kept trying to give us champagne. And I was like, I cannot drink anymore.
Even though you wanted to.
I would have loved to, but I'm like, we drank a bottle and
you're like, and you know, it just, the more tipsy you get, the easier it becomes.
Well, it's just, the problem is that, and we'll discuss this in another show for both of us, the last couple of weeks have been incredibly stressful.
Oh my God.
And so I was dealing with intestinal distress.
Oh my goodness.
And so I was like, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get through the evening. I thought we were going to have to leave because I had been, honestly, I'd had didiarrhea for 2 days straight.
Oh, and miserable.
So I'm like, we had Mexican food. So I wasn't sure. But I was hoping that alcohol. I hoped that the tequila would assist because sometimes, shockingly, tequila can kill things and you feel better.
True that.
I don't know what that is, but for me anyway.
It's probably just the high volume of alcohol. It'll kill whatever bug is in your stomach.
Yeah, and tequila for whatever reason. Like if I had gin and tonics.
It's medicinal.
Yeah, if I had it's organic. It comes from the earth.
It's got agave in it.
If it comes from the earth, it's okay to have, right?
Right.
But when I drink anything other than tequila, I am so sick the next day.
Oh,
but tequila, God. I'm like, I just feel kind of tired, you know.
Not me.
Anyway, so yes. So thank you, Greg, for the hangover.
Yeah, it's all good though. It's Sunday. It usually is a good day if you're going to be hungover. Sunday's the day, except for the days that we have to
do
record
things. Well, it was funny because I asked Daryl, I'm like, "How you doing today?" He's like, "I'm all right."
He looked a little peaked.
He's pretty pale.
I wasn't going to tell him that.
He looks bad, and I'm like,
"No, I didn't." Well, I mean, I don't know.
For me, he looks.
Yeah, you know the difference. Well. I really don't. He just looked pale.
Like he brought us coffee this morning at like 7:30, and I'm like, I can't drink this. Like
really?
I can't. No,
was that bad?
But he brought me. I woke up. I had a glass of water, a Gatorade, aspirin, and coffee.
Perfect. Well, coffee is really acidic.
And with my intestinal issues, I'm
That's
like,
what I mean.
Cannot.
Coffee is really acidic, so it's not my go-to when I'm hungover.
No, my go-to is Gatorade.
Yeah, so
I know that there's better stuff like Liquid IV and stuff like that, or Smart Water works really well for me.
It does, and there's a new Pedialyte basically made a hangover version for adults.
Yes. I need to try that.
Right, I tried the off-brand and it was disgusting. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be the real thing because everybody swears by it. They say it really works.
The thing I hate about the rehydrating beverages is they're so slimy.
Yeah, and right.
Coconut water, I absolutely cannot.
I used to love coconut water.
Really?
Until I watched what's the movie with Tom Hanks where he gets stranded?
Oh yeah, Castaway.
And he was like,
it's a diuretic.
Yes. I was like, why would you want to drink this if you're hungover? No. So I'm not.
No.
So now I just generally just avoid it, but I used to drink it a lot because it's high in potassium, so it's got really good replacements for when you're hungover.
I think it probably does well, but then just be prepared to have a toilet nearby.
Yeah,
if you had any kind of food the night before.
I mean, and generally, if it's like the only days I've ever been hungover at work is on a Monday.
Of course,
shocking. Yeah. Or the day after Super Bowl, and which is also happens to be a Monday.
I don't know why they don't put the Super Bowl on a Saturday.
Right?
Like why? Why are we still doing this?
And why have I every year I say I'm going to take Monday off, and I don't.
And everyone calls in sick. Anyway.
Either I come in late or I call in sick because I'm just dragging my motherfucking ass. Because not only is it on Sunday, but it's on at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, so by the time you're done, it's late and you're drunk and
you're pre-gaming by 10.
Oh, for sure.
And then you're hammered by the fourth quarter.
I know. And Super Bowl is my best. Yeah, right.
Stephanie,
I'm so excited.
The Raiders are going to go to the Super Bowl in the next year or two, and it's going to be
so don't jinx us.
Unbelievable. No, I was general. I generalized. Okay. I just said in the next year or two.
Because I've been saying that for 15 years.
Well, they haven't been good enough for the Super Bowl, but last year.
But now we don't. Now that we don't have, I was going to say Chucky. Now that we don't have Gruden, I keep waiting. Like, are we gonna have to start over?
I don't think so.
As a team,
this new coach they got, he's from the Patriots. Yeah, and he had to.
Was he a defensive coach or was he special teams?
I don't remember.
I know he was a head coach of one of their one of the Patriots.
From what I recall, it was the Patriots, but there was some kind of beef with him and the Raiders, and I don't remember what it was. But he actually came. Because he was humbled. He got fucking hired by the Raiders, and now he's got to take it all back.
That's fine.
Yeah, and so he did. But I'm just like, you're gonna have to prove to me that you're not a motherfucking asshole,
right?
Because so far, all I know about you ain't good,
right?
So let's hope that everybody.
We have to go to a game at Allegiant Stadium this year.
100%.
I absolutely want to.
They're underwater right now, so we can't go because
they are.
Yeah, there's a monsoon, which is why we have this weird weather today. Oh. And so, like the Hard Rock, the Bellagio, they have like inches of water on the floors.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, I was reading there's floods in
everywhere.
Other parts of the country where people are dying, and that's what I've been. Yeah, Kentucky and somewhere else.
Horrible.
Yeah. Isn't that strange? It's kind of an odd thing to have happen. But
it's almost like climate change is real, but we don't want to talk about it.
I know, right? You know what? I'm so angry though, because we were just talking. I got a new car, and so I got the car 2 days ago. I got it in the evening, the day I took it, and then the next day was the day I decided to wash it and detail it and vacuum it out, clean it. Because it wasn't a brand new car, and. This morning I wake up and it's raining. I'm like, you motherfucker, are you kidding me?
It is July.
I'm like, it was 101 3 days ago.
I know.
I washed this thing. I mean, detail the crap out of it. And then it
so
fucking
good.
Rains. Well, thank you, raindrops. For putting spots on all my hard work.
Well, I'm glad that you're hungover because you got a new car.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So it's definitely to be celebrated.
I had to celebrate and commiserate at the same time because I haven't had a car payment in so long that I'm like, oh God.
I know.
Here we go again.
I know. That's the one thing. It's like everybody enjoys the car and then you get that first bill and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, they didn't give me 45 days. They gave me exactly 29. Okay. I'm already thinking about it.
One paycheck. That sucks, man. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, this week there is so much celebrity news.
I know.
So much. So,
what are you starting with? I bet you I could guess.
We're starting with the deaths.
Oh, deaths. Okay.
So Paul Sorvino passed away.
I know. And I was watching Goodfellas this morning.
He's so fucking good.
Isn't he?
And I love his daughter. And I love how her daughter.
I love her.
Mira also was just like, I am this good because of my father. And I saw the clip when she won her Oscar and she gave him all the credit and he just wept.
Oh, they were so close.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine.
They were like two peas in a pod. Yeah.
I don't know what that's like. I'm jealous. I'm
jealous of a lot of people like that. Yeah, I am
so
too.
happy for her.
Yeah, so,
and then here's a weird one. Tony Dow died.
Did you see how
Beaver guy?
Yeah, and here's the thing: he was one of those ones where they said he was dead before he was dead.
Yeah, his people.
Yeah, they were like, Tony Dow has died, and everything. His family's like, he's not dead yet.
God, that happened recently.
Somebody else, and they did die.
Was it Betty White or something?
It might have been. No.
There was somebody who...
It was somebody, though.
They're like, I'm very much alive.
Yeah.
And then they died like 2 days later.
And then they died. They did die. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think Tony Dow was definitely on his deathbed.
I think he was. It
they
just got released early.
How do you screw that up?
It's the one thing.
That's like, how do you screw that up?
It's literally the last thing you're going to do for your client.
Right?
Is post their obituary.
I'd be so angry.
Literally the last thing. God. And Tony, he seems like such a nice man. What did he do to you? God, he's just trying to live the last of his life.
The last of his
with his
moments,
family.
with his dignity, but
and then his wife is going, I'm getting these text messages from our friends.
Well, they were, I imagine she's older too.
Well, they're 77, and that's not
Is that all he was?
Yeah.
Oh.
He had cancer. He
Damn
had
it.
liver cancer, like a really bad one. Like the Patrick Swayze kind, where you're not making it.
He had
pancreatic. But I'm just saying, I don't think liver cancer is one that you...
It's not one you want.
No, you do not want that one.
No.
So anyway, 77 I feel is young. In
I do
day
too.
and age.
100%.
You know,
yep. I thought he was old. I really did.
And that just reminds me, like, how young was he when he did Leave It to Beaver?
I mean, like
he must
12.
have been a child.
He was a child. They both were.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But we still have Jerry Mathers, so there's that.
Yeah, right. Who looks exactly the way he did when he was on the show.
Just older.
Just older. Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Ivana Trump fell down some stairs and died.
How odd was that? When they announced that she died, I assumed it was a illness.
I thought she was just old.
No, she wasn't even that old.
I know.
She was younger than Donald when they got married, so there was no way she was that old.
I
and
think she was 74
maybe.
or 70.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump's...
He's 76 or 77.
He was...
I don't even know. I have no idea.
He's up there. Anyway, yeah, he's getting up there. He's pushing 80. But
she was younger than him.
She was younger than him. So I thought for sure it was going to be like she had breast cancer, she had cancer, something like that. Right. So then when they're like, details have been released, I'm like, she fell down the stairs? Did someone push her?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm like, she was very wealthy.
She was wealthy, and what was she drunk?
I don't know.
I never got the impression that she was very, like a drunky smurf or drugs or anything like that.
Although with
I don't know.
Depending on how good your PR people are, there are things that we will never know about a lot of people.
You are correct. So there could be some things going on. But she fell down the stairs and hit her body and died.
Really sad. Well, I was like, maybe she had a heart attack and then fell, but no.
They said no. They said
trauma.
She literally fell from the stairs.
It was kind of like Bob Saget.
Dude,
the weirdest.
What is going on with these celebs and the head trauma?
He hit his head on. They still don't know.
They are sure. They're making an assumption. They don't even know.
I know.
Sure. They just know that he had head trauma and that he put himself to bed and never woke up. Yeah. I mean, really, that's the best way to go, honestly.
I suppose, but
that was shocking.
So avoidable had he called 911. But I mean,
he
maybe
was fully dressed and everything.
Yeah.
So that's what's so weird. But anyway,
at least he died at the Ritz-Carlton,
right? Instead of a Motel 6.
Right? Like Janie Lane.
Oh my God.
Warren.
I know. Anyway, so on top of that,
like a vagabond inn.
First of all, so she has passed. They had this beautiful funeral in Upper Manhattan, Manhattan funeral. Everybody was sad and stoic and all the things. She had this beautiful casket. And then we read today or yesterday that she has been put to rest on a Donald Trump golf course in New Jersey.
Oh.
And it's by a hole.
Oh.
And it is literally, they like cleared out an area.
Oh.
And she's just there with it's
odd.
like a little placard that says Ivana Trump.
I wonder if she's actually buried there.
I don't know, but that's where she is. And they're charging her family fees to have her there. And I am not kidding.
Why would he do that?
Why is he in charge?
Well, maybe that's what she wanted.
She wanted to be buried on a golf course in New Jersey?
She obviously had made her own arrangements.
We don't know that.
Well, I don't know that for sure, but I mean, wealthy people generally have that all planned out.
He spared no expense.
And
it's brown. It's not even lush. It's awful.
Okay. Oh my God.
So I don't know. And to me, and I'm with you, I'm like, maybe this is temporary. Maybe this is going to be some kind of.
Or maybe they don't want her real place to be known. Some celebrities do that.
It's possible. But I mean, God, you can go see Whitney Houston's grave. You can go to any of them. I mean, and I'm just like, this woman was from Europe. Why didn't she go back to Europe?
I don't know.
I mean, her children, honestly, her children are going to come to the golf course and see their mother.
This is why I'm thinking that this is what she wanted. Because otherwise her children would have chosen, if it was like undecided, her kids wouldn't have done that.
No.
Yeah.
Can you imagine now Ivanka's got to go to the golf course in Jersey?
No. So
with
I'm
her
just thinking
detail
that,
and
you
her
know,
security.
there's either a story behind it we don't know. You know, maybe she had a moment there. Who knows?
I just don't know why her ex-husband, four wives ago, why is he in charge of her?
Well, she was
arrangements?
maybe that's what she wanted.
Unless they just never updated anything.
I read
Who
an
knows?
article about when he first became president. They interviewed her and she was like, well, look, I am the original Mrs. Trump. Like I really am the only Mrs. Trump as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, for her religion and stuff.
Well, no, she was very,
like, you know what? She's like her dad.
yeah. I mean, but I think, you know, I agree. She had most of his children, you know.
Yeah, she did. She had all of them, but one.
Except for Barron. And so,
I do remember them asking her about it.
They were friends.
Yes.
They didn't hate each other at all.
By the end, they didn't because he put her through hell.
He did put her through hell
With
That was
Marla and all
so
that
long
shit?
ago. Yeah, didn't Marla Maples die?
No, Marla Maples is alive because her daughter Tiffany is the one that she's the black sheep. Like she finally started coming around trying to get him elected again. She's like, hi, and it's like,
shut up.
She didn't want to have anything to do with it. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, well,
Ivana's dead and she's buried in a golf
Ivanka.
course. In a golf course.
Is it Ivana or Ivanka?
It's Ivana. Ivanka's the
daughter.
child. Yes.
Okay.
And then of course the big news for us, J-Lo got married in a
Yes.
drive-through with Ben Affleck in Vegas.
I know.
And now they're in Paris. Well, not anymore, but they were in Paris together doing the paparazzi thing, and
Right.
Ben's crying.
She was filmed in Greece. I thought it was yesterday.
Well, she did a UNICEF show
okay.
this weekend, but Ben's already in LA. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it was planned.
Who knows? It's just the fact that he was miserable the entire trip.
Why was he miserable though?
He was crying. He was seen crying many times.
I saw that. I did see
he
those
was seen looking
pictures.
exhausted. Which
Maybe
is,
he, maybe somebody died in his family or something. You never know.
no, I don't know. I mean, you're being really nice, but it's
Yeah.
funny.
What do you think? He wasn't miserable because they got married.
One of our listeners goes, he's just crying because he's so sad about all the time that they missed being apart.
Oh God.
And I'm like, that's a really sweet way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I welcome you to feel that way because
Yeah.
you know that's a really positive,
way
of looking at it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But the thing is he absolutely hates press. He hates being surrounded by fans and paparazzi and all the things. And J-Lo is all in. She's all about it.
Yeah.
So I think that is something, and that was broke them up the first. One of the reasons that they got broken up the first
was
time
the attention that she gets.
well, it's just there was just so much media on them.
Yeah,
and
that's
wherever
true.
they went. Now I did see a few pictures that they probably didn't know were taken that were very normal.
Yeah.
He was taking pictures of her in a park.
Yeah.
She was changing her sandals. They were laughing about it. Like
Yeah.
it was like normal. So my guess is he probably hated that wherever they went,
The paparazzi.
there were
just-
people everywhere. And they were there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they were there for a while.
Yeah. So now he's in LA and she did the UNICEF thing. But I guess they like sold their homes or like legit going to do it.
They're buying a big old mansion. Yeah, they were house shopping for a while.
Yes.
Before they sold
and
their
then I heard
houses.
something today that said that they actually had a ceremony in at a Four Seasons.
I
in
believe
like
it.
North
I knew
Carolina
that
or
they that's
something.
just the way they announced it. I don't think that's the wedding they had.
No, they did do it.
I mean,
but-
no, I'm not saying that they didn't.
Yeah.
I just think that was the way that they were like, okay, we want to release this. We have to release it to the press.
Let's do this.
I don't want them to see the pictures of the wedding.
The real wedding.
Yeah. So let's just say we went to Vegas and got it done.
And just went through a drive-thru.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's no way. J-Lo would not settle for that.
She said that, I mean, she even talked about the people that were waiting in line with her and, you know, how they were all, you know, excited about getting married.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was. But it's so not what she would do. But maybe she's just like, you know what? I've tried it all the other ways and it just doesn't work.
That's true.
So we'll have the party, we'll do the whole beautiful thing, and then you and I'll just do the quick
They just needed to get it over with.
Yeah.
Because no matter what those two do.
If you wait too long, then they talk about everything.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, and they're not going to have privacy, period. Anything that, you know, everything is going to be public. So why not control it?
And I think I think they're doing the best they can with it. I mean,
I
it
do
does
too.
suck. It sucked seeing him so miserable.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? I mean, if my husband looked like that, I'd be like, what's your fucking problem, man? We're in fucking Paris on our honeymoon.
Well, I mean, we
Get
just
it
don't
together.
know. See, I'm just not convinced that what we see in the media is what's happening.
Well, he was crying.
Literally, I know he was crying, but we have no idea about what.
Like maybe his daughter was sick or
Who
something.
knows? It could literally be a million things. He could have had a legit thing going on in his life that he got caught crying. And everybody's like, oh my God, he's miserable from the paparazzi. They're in a fight. You know, I mean, we don't know.
I don't think I definitely did not get the impression that they were fighting. I did get the impression that he was very upset about something.
Yeah, clearly.
But of course, now they're already spinning it. Like, he hates it. He left. He regrets everything. I mean, that's going to be the next thing. It's not what it is. No. And then other people are saying that this is all PR.
It's not.
I think it's real. Although I will say this, the
crying?
No, the whole marriage and everything.
Oh no, they are desperately in love.
Here's the problem, though. I have not once met anyone where it works out when you come back with an ex ever.
I mean,
I don't know anybody who goes like years and then you reunite.
I do.
Who?
The couple that we knew that were married for like 15 years and they got divorced.
Yeah.
They both married other people. And then like 15 years later, they ended up getting married again. And now they've been married for like 15 more years.
Weird.
And they are blissfully happy. Like they were each other's they're like, you were always my person.
Aww,
but like we went and did our own thing and like for whatever reason. And then they just found their way back.
I would fucking die if that happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, and by the time they found their way back, their son had grown up and he was in college and he got married. And so they were literally like both, they didn't have kids or anything.
Imagine if our parents got back together.
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
But they didn't have that tumultuous relationship. They just grew apart.
Okay.
She was really responsible and was moving forward with her career and stuff like that. And he was kind of flitty. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you know what? I can't with you. Like, I'm ready to like buy a house and like settle down.
Yeah. Guys can do that.
And he just wouldn't get it together. So she's like, fuck off.
Bye. I'm
so she found someone else who made it work.
And then he grew up, figured his life out, and now they're back together.
And she's like, this is what I always wanted.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing is Ben is sober. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
I do too.
And he's probably an amazing, and he seems so intelligent. Like I've seen him talking and
did he do Hot Ones? I want to. I don't know if he did Hot Ones, but I was watching him on some interview, and I was like, thank God he's not stupid. Like,
oh yeah,
like he's so cute and everything.
Yeah, he is. He's so tall. I had no idea how tall he was until she's next to him, because she's like 5'7".
Yeah, she's tall.
Yeah, well, taller than me.
I mean, to me, anybody who's taller than me is tall. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish everybody. I wish them well, but the reality is that I am not hopeful. But we'll see.
Well, I'm not hopeful for a lot of celebrity marriages, but I do have to say that since I tend to have vibes about. Mm-hmm. That I think they'll make it longer than most.
Yeah,
also because of their age.
Somebody else said that to me there, because I said I give it a year.
Oh no, and I give it much longer than that.
Yeah, I give it 10. I was kidding. I wasn't actually. Yeah. I want it always to work out. Like, you always want it to work out. I never not want it to work out.
That's not true. There's people I didn't want to work out.
Well, I mean, celebrity wise, I don't really care. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I'm like, yeah, I hope it works out. It'll be cool. But no, somebody goes, you know what though? They're in their 50s.
Yeah,
they're done. Libidos are lower. They're rich. They don't have the same struggles that people do when they get married in their late 20s, like they did like 30 years ago or whatever. And so therefore, and they're not having kids.
His kids are older. Her
kids
young.
are 16.
Yeah, I know, but she's still raising them.
I think his are younger. I think he's like a 9-year-old.
Oh God.
Yeah, like a real children. Like, he's got to really raise them. I didn't know that. And so when somebody said, oh, well, he went back to LA, I'm like, yeah, because he has like a 9-year-old starting school in 2 weeks. He probably wants to see them.
Yeah. What is he supposed to do? Flit off for a month and be like, I'm going with J-Lo. Bye. Yeah. Like, no one else matters now.
Plus, and her kids are much older and they could probably
still in school too.
They are, but I mean, my guess is
J-Lo is very, very career focused. She doesn't sacrifice much of anything.
And who's to say? Maybe they were with her.
They could have been.
We don't even know.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so
she does take them a lot.
Congratulations to the Bennifer.
Yes, she said she was changing her name,
Jennifer Affleck, and I'm like it's never been done before, but okay.
No, I know, but I think a lot of people wondered.
She was very clear she was changing her name. Okay, so you're gonna have to fill me in on this. I don't think there's much to tell, but Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian are having a baby via surrogate.
I wanted to die.
And I'm like, did she do this? When
no.
did she do that? But it had happened before all the crap, right?
Weeks.
Oh God.
Like literally weeks. And that did put a lot of perspective on it for me, because I thought, you asshole. Yeah. They were shopping for a surrogate for a year, a long time.
God. So then they finally
while he was screwing this woman and getting her impregnated, they were already looking for a surrogate.
Yeah.
So he, And then continued and let her keep doing it. Like, let her keep looking and then get the surrogate pregnant, which we don't know if it happened the first. When you do in vitro like that, it doesn't always work the first time.
No, it's a process.
It's a process. Maybe it did, but maybe it didn't. So nonetheless, he had months and months and months and months where they were actually actively trying to have a baby with a surrogate. Full well knowing that Marilee Nichols was pregnant and that she was going to be having the baby very close to the time that they were.
Does he just not care?
I think
I think no respect for women.
I think he has no respect
for women at all.
Literally none. Because not only did he disrespect Chloe a million times, but this girl.
Yeah.
Everybody's acting like she doesn't matter.
She does matter, and she's pregnant.
And now she has his son who he's never seen. And he's going to be a year old in December.
Unbelievable.
A son. And so I was just, I'm thinking when Chloe found out, I would have told that surrogate, you're getting an abortion. I'm not doing this with this person.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's a horrible thing to say.
No, it's not.
But I mean, I think she was literally like a couple of weeks pregnant.
Because, that was my question. Because I'm like, if she's not that far along.
Very newly pregnant.
If she's not that far along and you can terminate.
She found
safely,
out she was pregnant
like,
in November and Chloe found out in November.
I said, I will pay you millions to terminate and go away.
Yeah, and maybe it was a discussion,
or she wants the baby. Maybe
Chloe wants the baby, 100%. Everybody's always known that half the reason why she kept Tristan around was to have another baby. For true.
Okay.
Because she did not want to have a bunch of baby daddies.
She just wanted.
He's good looking. Yeah. He's all the things she wants. She's rich, and so he was perfect. And she wanted another, which makes me hate her. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are so selfish.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to explain this to your daughter that you got cheated on publicly? Like,
and everyone's she'll know about it.
While you were giving birth to True. And then your sibling was another, he had another baby with another woman while you're having your sibling.
And wait till these kids grow up and meet all
it's just
their half siblings.
Yes, but shame and
it's a nightmare. It's such a nightmare.
So yeah, now apparently she's done with him.
Okay. Sure. Until we see her holding hands in an airport somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he sent her a bunch of roses for her birthday.
Why?
Because they're friends and they're co-parenting now.
Bull fucking shit. He's not parenting anything.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what?
I'm sorry. Co-parent away, but you're not sending me fucking roses on my birthday. No. Those would go in the trash.
Well, what more does a man have to do to show you that he gives zero fucks about you?
Right?
And the passive aggressive behavior of roses or whatever, it's so disturbing.
It is.
Like, how does
we were talking about body?
You get away with it,
absolutely,
because he picks the right women.
100%.
They
all accept
it.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is this?
He is good looking and all that, but I mean, I'm sorry,
it has nothing to do with anything.
I don't get what the charm is. Why they all swoon around him and keep putting up with this horrible behavior. I really don't understand it. But we were talking about body image issues and fat shaming at work the other day, and I said, you know what, Chloe is exactly all of the things that you see her and you know how she's almost a billionaire. She's gorgeous. She has every single thing a person could want in this world, right? And yet she does not see herself the way we all look at her.
I know.
She literally sees this fat, ugly person
still,
because that is who puts up with this shit.
Yes.
It's what's in her mind, not what we see. Self-esteem.
It's so crazy.
And, in all those years that she was called a troll and that she was called a tranny and she was called a this and a that, that really affected her. She's never going to shake that. She needs therapy, for God's sake.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like all the money she's spending on her outer appearance. I hope that she starts investing in her actual
100%. And I'm not just saying like Chloe. I'm saying in general,
she represents a lot of women, though.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about because one of the girls that sits next to me is like, I have a friend who struggled with her weight forever, and she was always known as like the chunky one, the chubby one. She's like, well, now she's older and she's lost a ton of weight. But she's like, to this day, she thinks she's fat. Everything she eats bothers her. She literally cannot shake it.
It is really weird, too, because it is something that you can go to therapy for, but you still...
I think it's still always in your mind.
It's always in your mind. Every time I eat. Stephanie, everything I eat...
goes in your brain somehow.
Everything I eat goes, well, that was 2 pounds I'm going to gain, even if it's tomatoes or anything. It's like fruit is sugar. I shouldn't be drinking. I shouldn't be eating it. And that harkens back to being fat shamed.
Exactly.
And it will never go away.
Right.
So, I mean, you can try. I mean, I don't think I'm a hideous beast by any means, but it is something that you do. Like, I absolutely abuse myself. You know, I'll look in the mirror and be like, look at you, you disgusting piece of shit. I know, I do it too.
Do you know when I get in the shower, I have to open the...
And I've had therapy, by the way.
Oh, I know. But about that, though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah. Well, because they're like, well, you have such a healthy, you know, you have a healthy self-esteem. And I'm like... I don't though. I do because on certain things, like I don't tolerate abusive behavior toward me whatsoever. I have given people chance after chance after chance. And now I'm strong enough to say, I can't have you in my life anymore. And it's painful, by the way.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's painful because it's family or friends.
And sometimes you love the person. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so, but I did have to go to therapy to recognize that but I don't give myself the credit that I give everybody else. I don't give them the slack. I don't give myself the slack that I give everybody else. Yes.
Yeah.
So although I'm fairly confident, but not really. Like I don't look people in the eye if I can help it.
I have people. I have my boss told me that
if I trust them, I will. But if I'm feeling any kind of way, I do not look people in the eye.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to see if I do that too.
I definitely, and I know I'm doing it, and that's because that's what therapy does. Is it reminds you're like, we know you.
It's awareness.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Because then once you learn it, you can't unknow it.
It's true. Okay, so is Britney Spears free?
Is she free?
Yeah, is she free or is she still being controlled by something?
Well, her dad lost the ability to depose her.
Well, she's not in a conservatorship anymore, but she certainly feels a little controlled.
Well, I mean, I think she's still dealing with the backlash of it. There's a lot of legal bullshit that has to be, cleaned up.
I think somebody they're kind of concerned about her husband.
Why?
Because he was the only one that was allowed to be around her when she was in this conservatorship. Like everybody else wasn't allowed to be there, but everybody approved of him being there.
Sam Ashigari.
Mm-hmm. And they're saying that he's her handler now.
Her handler?
Like he's she hasn't posted anything current or she posted
weird. Some dancing videos yesterday.
Yeah, from before her wedding.
Oh, were those old?
Yeah, everything she's posted is old. Like somebody was saying, oh, she posted these nudes of her she said she was in London, but these are photos.
Oh, those are old. Yeah.
These are photos from the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
I mean, I think it's...
I don't think she's just not taking pictures. I mean, there was a video of her.
She just moved and she doesn't want anyone to know where she lives.
And there was a video of her on a rooftop in London with one of the guys that was in the Kingsmen with her husband and her, and they were just like having a good time.
Just chilling, doing the normal.
And I read that she recorded a single with Elton John.
She did. She redid her Baby One More Time.
Yes. And so I think she was in London. I just don't think she posted any photos from London.
Of that actual trip.
I think she posted old shit on her phone.
I think she's honestly I think she has a new team, and I think they're being very careful about the trail they're leaving. One, because the paparazzi are vicious when it comes to Britney.
They really are. And she has not been seen.
No. And so I think they're doing a good job of that. And
I also think those nudes of her in that hotel room are old because she did not have a wedding ring on.
No,
and she does wear one.
She does.
So
I just think that they're being very purposeful in what they're posting. I think that a lot of times the paparazzi looks to people's Instagrams and that kind of thing to try to figure out where you are.
Thing she has.
Yeah, and so if they are deceiving them by posting old photos or photos, from years ago, then they really don't know exactly where she is.
I tend to not fall. I tend to not believe that she is in trouble or being controlled. She's in trouble. I think that she has a team.
I think she doesn't trust anyone.
She shouldn't.
And the only person that she's ever been able to trust is Sam.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but I mean, people tend to turn on people so quickly when it comes to.
He's been with her forever.
Oh yeah.
When she had no access to her money and he was still with her. He didn't care about all of that. I don't think he's doing anything.
I don't think he is either. I
think they're moving on and they're trying to live their best life and they're enjoying the freedom.
I think she is obviously traumatized And
Brittany has legit mental health issues.
She has legit mental health issues, but she has legitimate trauma.
Absolutely.
She was basically a prisoner.
Totally.
So, I mean, to me, it's like, I don't really give a shit what she posts.
I don't care.
I mean, if she has to do this to feel free, fine.
Or maybe, and maybe, after a while she'll keep doing it because that's her outlet or whatever it is. Yeah. She's not, I don't like to use the word normal because I think we're all normal. Yeah. I just think we all function differently and depending on your trauma or your mental health issues. Yeah. How I act normal versus how you act normal, two different things.
Right.
She may be just a little fucked up all the time. Yeah. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Well, and let's not forget, she was a child performer. She was like a child star, and there aren't too many child stars who are normal.
There are lots of people who are fucked up who can still function in society and have the right to be independent financially and live their life.
I really am hopeful that the team she puts together protects her and she's able to do what she wants to do.
I think they are doing it. I really
think
do. She's not doing this on her own. She's not the mastermind of how she's doing her Instagram. No.
Oh God, no. No, I think what she's doing is and I figured this out very quickly. I'm like, she's posting all old photos on her phone. This is not current. And the one thing that was current was deleted immediately, which was that video of her in London. It was deleted because she's like, I don't want anyone to know I'm in London. They'll come find me.
Or maybe she put it on there and her team was like, don't post that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't put that on there.
Exactly.
They'll find you in a minute.
Exactly. So like today she posted a picture. She was like, remember when my hair was pink a year ago? And I'm like, yeah, see, she's like the hits.
Right.
The hits.
She wants to stay relevant. She needs to stay in the media
and
because
she likes the interaction.
She likes the interaction, but I mean, honestly, if she's going to release new music, she's getting ready to release a book.
Oh yeah, that book.
She has to be relevant. Like she has to continue to be in so that people will buy her stuff when she's ready.
Brittany could drop off the face of the earth for a year, come back, and people would just be like dying. They'd be like, "No, thank God she's back."
I know. Huh?
I'm a huge fan. Okay, and then finally, so Will Smith is on TikTok now. I follow Will Smith on TikTok. I followed him before the slap. But he went on TikTok this week to answer questions about the incident and where he's at. It seems so fucking arrogant to me.
Okay,
I can't
He was reading the questions.
Did he answer them?
He answered them, but the PR experts out there who have analyzed his body language, they all said he wrote those fucking questions.
Oh, really?
Those weren't real questions that came from actual fans. They may have been a version of things that have been out there that people have been wanting to, but they were not legit. Like, this guy wrote me and I'm going to answer your question. No,
Jason,
they were like, here's the questions you're going here's the questions you're going to answer. Yeah, because these are the things that people are pissed off about.
It's almost like it's his own press conference.
It was so self-serving to me.
Yes, that's
if Chris Rock is not ready to forgive
Chris Rock tells him to fuck off. Yeah, I'm like, good forever.
So who are you apologizing to?
Us? No one wants your apology, man.
You don't owe us an apology.
You do not.
You owe him an apology. And if he doesn't want to accept it, then why are you apologizing to us? You're only doing it for one reason.
You want people to know
because you don't want people to continue to be pissed off at you.
And they
and buy your shit and go to your movies.
And he has a movie in the hopper that they won't release. Although I think they're going to.
They're going to release it. Will Smith is not canceled.
Oh God, no.
No.
He might be canceled in his own community, but not for the average moviegoer.
No, not for the average moviegoer. I don't think any of us were that invested in Will to write him off.
Shocking.
It was just rude and stupid and violent and all of the things that
Something Chris Rock said. Everybody who says words can hurt, you've never been punched in the face. But yeah, I mean, it was such a shitty thing to do, and I mean that's putting it mildly. But this press conference that he put on for himself, he's like, I'm trying to do this without shaming myself. I'm like, I think a little shame would be good for you.
Yeah, actually,
what
is he trying to say? Like, there is no shame in what he did?
No, he's trying to say like, I just can't continue to punish myself.
Oh, shut the fuck up! You didn't punish yourself ever.
I'm like, you could totally use a little punishment. I'm just saying.
I mean, and let's be honest, he hasn't been sitting in his office crying for the last 4 months. No,
they're trying to find his way back.
They're just like, okay, how can we make? Yeah, and I was watching reading this one PR lady who was like, look, you know what? When you want your client to apologize, she's like, he literally hit all of the points that you tell your client to hit when you want them to apologize in public. Yes. It was like textbook apology for a celebrity. Yeah. So for me, it fell on deaf ears. I was like not buying it.
No,
I don't think he's sorry about anything.
No.
Other than the fact that the backlash has been pretty huge.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only thing he's sorry about.
He's like, I lost all my friends. He lost a lot of friends.
He probably lost friends because they're like, I can't know you right now because you're going to ruin my career.
You're literally cancer.
You're like kryptonite. Yeah.
You're like awful.
And bro, you understand why I can't talk to you or be seen with you.
He does.
So don't take it personal when this thing blows over. We're good.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see.
Don't forget to invite me to your Christmas party this year, by the way. I'll just come in, costume. Nobody will know it's me.
I'll just come in the left shark.
Yeah,
No
one's really going to diss him or anything.
No,
just temporarily to save their own ass.
Yeah, for sure. It's so funny how Jada got the heat for all of it initially.
And I literally don't blame her, but I still hate her fucking guts.
I am not a fan. I think she's a masochist.
I don't know.
Personally,
there's just something wrong with her.
She's just she's so mean.
Who humiliates your husband in public? Billions
often.
of times.
Often.
That's like all she does.
It's like the number one rule in being in a partnership or a relationship with someone. You don't disrespect them in public.
Right?
Never.
Especially if you're a celebrity, for God's
And if you hate them, fine, but don't tell everybody.
Right?
Your children have to hear that.
God, it's just the most awful thing.
I don't like it. Anyway, all right. Well, that's our celeb news. Is there anything I missed? That's a lot.
No, it was a lot. I've been so consumed these last few days.
I
It's
know.
not like me to not really have seen what's happening today.
I'm just so glad you gave me some insight. Well, you have the same thoughts
Shawn
I do.
Mendes canceled his tour.
You know what? I love that guy so much.
I do too.
He's such a love.
I've
He's
been
such
calling
a sweetie.
my son Lauren lately.
Lauren,
so
that's
yeah,
funny.
me and Jeff are listening to his song in the car on the way here.
I love
like,
Shawn
Shawn
Mendes.
Mendes.
He is very open about his depression.
Yeah.
And anxiety. And Malia, my daughter, she and her friend went and saw him in Sacramento like a month or two ago. And she
Lucky
said
her.
it was great. He literally canceled the next day.
Right.
I'm like, wow, Sacramento was hard on him.
I think he
went
already,
home. Well,
yeah.
he went home. He went to Canada.
He was
went home.
He was already at a breaking point. He had canceled a couple shows,
Yes.
and then ultimately canceled the tour.
So I don't know what's up with him, but
I have mad props for him though. I don't. I think sometimes these celebrities get pressured into these tours if they're not, even if they're not really ready.
Well, they make a lot of money. That's how they make
a ton
their
of money,
money,
and they pay all of their people with this money.
Yes.
And so maybe he was like already like not sure about it, and then he did it, and then he's like, I can't,
Yeah.
So it sucks for the fans, but at the same time, I feel like, you know what, sometimes you just got to look past the money and do what you got to do.
Yeah, I like
He's so young.
He's like 24?
Yes. I'm like, you know what?
Or wait, is he older now? I don't even know.
He's
in
still,
his 20s,
whatever he's young.
he's at.
I mean, whatever.
I'm just glad that, he immediately went home and his mom probably went, Shawn, what are you doing?
Yeah, you look terrible.
You look terrible. You look like you're ready to die.
A mom knows.
Oh, 100%.
We know when our kids are in trouble.
Oh, my son came over the other day and I go, what's going on with you? He's like, what do you mean? I go, you look like shit. He goes, Mom. And I go, you do? What's up? He goes, I'm just really depressed. I'm like, okay. I knew it was something.
Something when your kids are in
because
trouble.
I'm like, and the thing is that especially with your children, it's like, why would you beat around the bush? Why would you not be honest? Be honest.
Yeah, we all do it.
It's their life. It's their fucking life,
Agreed.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I hope he gets better soon. And I
do too. I hope he writes and does his things.
Yes. And there's something wrong with the Biebers. What is there?
Dude.
Why do they have like these odd illnesses and like
they need to move.
Half their face doesn't work. And it's like, what is going on with you?
Sometimes the house is
toxic. Like it has black mold in it or something.
I'm wondering. And it was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, okay, first of all, she had a stroke. And then he had that weird disease where he couldn't blink his eye.
Well, I mean, it makes me wonder a lot of time. Okay, and I'm always so suspicious. I'm very cynical when it comes to what I read in the media.
Yeah, you said that.
I am. So a lot of times I feel like they tell us one thing, but it's actually something else, or it's a version of the truth. But so I'm like, are they druggies?
No.
Are they? Maybe no.
He used to be, but I mean, why would they?
And Hailey Bieber is like, she is so skinny.
She looks gaunt.
She is so skinny, right?
And she also had some.
I'm like, are they cokeheads? Are they? Do they do GHB? Like, what is it that is?
Like maybe they got a bad batch.
Who knows? Like, or maybe they're just really they're high functioning addicts and they're disguising these issues they're having with medical issues.
I do know that Justin Bieber definitely had some struggles, and I don't know with addiction. I don't know what addiction, but he also clearly, he was a child star again, and his parents are horrible. And
his mother's not.
Well, his dad was. I meant his dad.
Yeah, he loves his mother.
I know, because she was a poor single mom and just did everything for him.
She supports him 100%.
But I meant, the dad showed up when he was famous,
right?
Like they all do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I do believe that he had some definitely had some behavioral issues when he turned like 21.
It's pretty obvious when you probably because that's when he got all control of all his money.
He got his money, and I think, I don't know if it was alcohol or drugs, but I do remember hearing or reading about him being a little reckless with it. But Hailey Bieber's like super religious.
Maybe
like super, clean.
She's a model, and models always are a little. I don't know.
They're a little off
because it takes
some of them.
Anybody who can stay that thin that long.
Yeah.
I mean, that takes some serious commitment.
Apparently,
to not
she had
eating.
some kind of work done where she had some subcutaneous fat removed from her face to look more cheekbony.
Okay.
And she looks old. It just made her look so old. Yeah. And I don't think it's pretty. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, she's a pretty girl, but she's just so thin right now. It's hard. I don't see anything else when I look at her.
I know she's very skeletal, and he looks like shit as well.
Yeah, they both
He's
do.
a mess.
So
I don't know, but when I saw that they both had really weird neurological issues, I went, maybe their home is toxic.
Maybe.
And I know that sounds dumb.
No, it doesn't sound dumb, but I mean, yeah, you and I are on totally different pages. I'm thinking they don't have
they're drug addicts.
No, yeah, I'm like, it's something else because you don't have these kind of problems in your early 20s.
I just wonder if it's
almost billionaires.
These neurological issues, though, is it like...
Or is it their health? Is it because they don't eat and they don't sleep and they travel all the time?
I wonder... you know what? I don't even know, but meth is a hell of a drug, man.
There's not meth at X. You can't hide meth. It's on your face.
That's true.
You
can't.
Then
what could it be?
I mean, there are pills.
I do know there's a lot of people who I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and they said that in LA specifically, everybody who does coke they test it for fentanyl before they snort it.
That's true.
And I'm like, maybe.
And GHB is a big thing. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do.
So that's a big thing amongst celebrities.
That's weird. GHB was huge when I was partying in my 20s. Like that was a big
never really
thing.
gone away. It just with celebrities they like it because it's short. It doesn't last for a really long time, and it doesn't stay in your system.
You can just drink it and be done with
Literally.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but I'm like, well,
and it gets you fucked up.
Maybe they got some bad coke because Coke is definitely
Coke is huge. In the celebrity world,
and
especially
so
models.
Perhaps they snorted some coke and they got a bad batch and they both got weird deal. That would make sense to me.
Could be. I mean, we're literally guessing. I'm just saying, like,
so guessing. We're building all kinds of backstories. They had a party. Someone came. They snorted it. She had a stroke, and he got some weird disease
because they
where
have
he
to
can't
somehow.
blink.
Yeah, I mean, like if a celebrity goes to the hospital, they have to have a story because the pops are going to see you.
Oh, for sure.
Right, and so you have to say what you're getting. Why am I in the hospital? Kind of like when Tori Spelling was in the hospital all the time.
Dude, we'd be so good at that.
Do you remember when Tori Spelling was in the hospital?
I do remember.
What was wrong with her?
We don't know. She said it was a heart thing.
It wasn't though.
You think it was?
It was either drugs or
surgery?
I think she had no. I think she has a severe eating disorder. I think she has a severe eating disorder.
You think she binges?
I think she binges, and I think she does. She's anorexic. She has been, not always.
When she was a kid,
but it's one of the reasons why she has babies.
Because she can gain weight.
Because she doesn't do it to herself when she's pregnant.
Can't. Oh, that makes so much sense.
She won't kill the kid. So she's just keeps having fucking kids because she's like, that's why she was constantly pregnant for like 9 years. I would rather seriously.
I swear to God, if I was pregnant all the time for 9 years, I'd be like, I'd be like, Stephanie, you have to stop me. You have to do something.
And some people do if they have like addictive personalities, but they don't indulge in what they want.
They'll do other
things. Do other things, which is why she binge spends. She put them in debt. Like they have no money, and she's literally buying things on credit cards.
And she literally can't find something to make money. Like nobody will hire her. And I'm like, why?
Doesn't have any talent. She's like dumb as a box of rocks. And she's ugly.
We should do like a podcast or something, or do.
She probably tried.
I mean, into directing or do a reality. Well, her reality show was horrible. It was a crime scene. Jesus Christ, watching that nightmare.
Except for I did watch it.
Of course I watched it. I watched every minute of it.
That was that Tori and Dean in love? Yes. And it was like their bed and breakfast.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
Oh,
I watched the one before that when they lived in the house and everything was trashed. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They were poor. They had no money. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but I mean,
I'm so curious to know what Candy Spelling's going to do with all that money when she dies. Will she finally give it to Tori, or will she literally torture her from the grave? I gave it all to charity.
What do you think she's going to do?
I left you $100,000.
Bitch.
She will too.
You know what? I was wondering.
I would sue the shit out of whoever she gave that money to and be like, I'm going to try to fight for it. Even if they give me $10 million.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if she and Dean split, would Candy give her money? Would Candy give
No,
her
because
money?
she's been split with Dean, and then very recently they're trying to reconcile.
Again.
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying about going back with your ex? It doesn't always work out.
That's why they would never publicly confirm that they were broken up.
They were just
but
separated.
They were. Yeah. No, they wouldn't even confirm that they were separated.
No, I mean, they didn't like divorce.
Well, if anybody asked her, she was like, no, we're still married. She literally would deny it.
Yeah.
Up until like very recently.
Yeah.
And she never said they were separated, but they were. Everybody, the pops were like, he doesn't live there. Like we saw him leave, a year ago. He
lives in Canada.
He's literally living in Canada
Yeah.
and filming all the time. He does see the kids, but he does not live there. But every time they would ask her, she's like, no, we're married. We're fine. He's just not home right now. He's on business. Like she would not say it. So,
I don't blame her.
So now she goes,
okay, so maybe we're trying to work things out.
She didn't even say that. She released an Instagram with him at her house for a birthday party, and he called her babe.
Oh,
he's like, babe, you're so cute.
Ew, gross.
And so everybody was like, Tori and Dean are reconciling? But she's like, what? We never broke up. So she will not say one way or the other. So she's very, very smart when it comes to her PR because she's like, I'm not going to say shit unless we are 100% getting divorced.
I wish we were PR people, Stephanie. We'd be so good at it.
I know, right?
Oh my God. Give me a troubled client.
Ugly public relations.
Oh my God. Ugly PR. Indeed.
Oh my God. Yeah. We could also, we've also talked about having like a private investigator.
We'd be so good at that too. We could have both. We could do both. We could be like, we do PR and then we find all the dirt on your ex or your soon to be ex
or a boyfriend or somebody
or your baby
dating.
daddy. And then
somebody you're thinking about dating.
And then we paint the picture for you.
Yep.
Oh my God. We'd be so good at it. So good. All right. Well, we'll have to put that on the hopper.
Yeah.
That's definitely something we should do. I'd love to be a PR person. Oh my God. We'd be so fucking
Same.
good.
I'd be the investigator. You be the PR person.
Dude, we'd be so good. I just need to learn how to write a press release and then we're good.
Oh, you figure it out.
Dude, I don't know why I keep calling you dude. It's because I'm hungover.
It's the go-to. It's an easy adjective.
I remember I was interviewing for a job and I had it for the most part. And they said, okay, we just need you to write a press release for us and then submit it. And then, we'll go from there. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I've never written a press release before. And on top of it, there was no smartphone. I had a flip phone. This was like way 100
so it's not like
years
you
ago.
could Google or
if I could have Googled press release, I would have done it.
Yeah.
And then gotten the job. But I had never written a press release before.
Did you just give it a shot?
So I just gave it a shot and they're like, okay, well, we'll call you. And I'm like, I went home immediately and I went, oh, this was, they're like, oh boy.
Something to do that, though, that's like under pressure.
Yeah.
Why do they do that to people in interviews? Like,
I don't know.
You're never at your best in an interview. So like people who like, okay, well, thank you for the interview. Now we're going to have you do an Excel spreadsheet test. And you're like, God, like, could I be any more nervous? I'm literally sweating. I'm shaking. I'm scared to death, and now I have to show you technical skills under the gun.
Now you need to know if I can prove myself to you.
Right. Like,
what happened to bullshitting our way through and just trying to figure it out on our own?
And then it's like, and if you're a good enough bullshitter, they take a chance on you.
Yeah,
that's how I got every job I've ever had.
Everyone,
with the exception of the one I have right now,
where you had to take a test.
Where I had to take a test. But I mean, honestly, I always just convince someone to give it a shot. I'm like, you won't regret it.
Hey, I'm really charming when I need to be.
Same.
I charm everyone. Anyway, okay. Well, let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Oh God, that's right.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, I know you have one. Of course.
So at work, we're still under a major outbreak with Corona.
Okay.
Everybody, we live in California, so we're probably going to be in an outbreak for the rest of our lives.
COVID.
So we have to wear a mask, and I have several masks. I have a go-to mask at work because I talk to people and I'm on the phone almost the whole day. And I have to wear this mask at my desk while I'm doing my job. And so it's not, the one I wear at my desk is probably not the safest one, but I can breathe. So it's blingy. It has rhinestones all over it. Yeah.
But you could probably blow a candle out.
You could totally blow a candle out with it. And I only wear it at my desk because there's no one else in my desk.
You're in a little cubie.
And I can speak and you can hear me. And I don't feel like I'm going to pass out from breathing my own carbon monoxide all day.
Yes.
So I was coming in the building. was having a pretty good day. It must have been like a Wednesday because Mondays are always bad for me. And Tuesdays, I'm like just getting into the groove. By Wednesday, I'm usually pretty good. So I was in the car. I had been listening to my phone in the speaker on the car, which means I can play whatever I want. So I usually play like songs that like get me in a good mood before I go into work while I'm doing my makeup in my car, which I do every morning. I get to work half an hour early just so I can do that. And I put my mask on as I'm walking up I get out of my car, I'm putting my mask on, and I'm starting to walk. Well, where I parked, I had a little decent of a walk. It wasn't far, but I mean, it wasn't right there.
Yeah.
And I'm walking along, and it's at that time of morning where everybody's coming into the building. We have probably 5 or 6 different entrances around this giant building that I work in, and 2 or 3 of them are within where I'm walking. So there's people coming and going from all sides. We usually say good morning to each other, or we nod, if you don't know the person, whatever the case may be. I'm doing all of that, feeling kind of sassy, like, you look good today. I like your lipstick, whatever. Get upstairs. I sit on the second floor, and I take the stairs. I always do. More interactions with people the whole way. I'm saying good morning. Everybody knows me. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do know almost everyone. Oh, God. So I'm getting a lot of good mornings. And I get to my desk, and the girl that sits next to me, she goes, Stephanie.
Oh, God.
She's like, you have something on your face, right? And I look at her, and I'm like, wait, what? She's like, there's something hanging. So I'm like, what the hell? So I go, and I have 3 mirrors at my desk because I'm vain as hell, and I need to see every angle all the time. So I look in the mirror. I had my 3-inch hoops for my earrings in my pocket or in my purse. Well, one had hooked on to the front of my mask. So it looked like a cow ring, and it was literally just protruding out of my face. No one said a damn thing. I mean, I felt like I had just walked a mile when I looked at it. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, the one girl did look at me. She's all like, she kind of looked at me like, are you doing that on purpose? Is it a fad? Like maybe we don't know. Like
the one true friend. What's on your face?
So I was literally like, oh my God. How did I not see it?
Oh God.
The only thing I can think of is because I don't wear my glasses when I'm walking. I only put them on at my desk. So I probably couldn't even, it was probably just a big blur because it was like this big. I'm telling you, these are giant J-Lo hoops.
I love my hair. I love those.
Yes. And it was
funny.
Clung to my face from my nose to my chin. And it was so embarrassing. I couldn't, I literally couldn't do anything but just started laughing.
I would have been out of my mind.
Of course I am like doing this.
Hysterical. I would have been hysterical.
I'm like, I needed an ugly and awkward moment. I haven't had one in a while. Here you go.
There you go. Just to remind you whenever you get cocky.
Oh my God. And exactly.
The second you
Suddenly I'm like, you idiot. You were actually skipping in here this morning.
Everybody's so cool
looking at you.
They're like, what's with the earring? And
you idiot. Well, they couldn't tell it was an earring. Like all they thought it was like this big round metal thing.
Like maybe it's just having some surgery. Maybe it's stuck.
I know the one girl must have been because she was the only one that gave me a funny look, and I was like, rude. I was thinking like, God, good morning to you too. And she's probably like, the fuck is on your face?
But she didn't have the audacity.
She didn't know
to
me.
Ask you.
She's like,
oh my God. She's like, hey, did you see that woman?
She probably did it on purpose. Yeah, like maybe it's a thing, and I don't know. Is
this a new trend in masks?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Right.
Jesus. Anyway, mine is not nearly as good as yours. So, we have a bunch of old dogs, and our husky he's having some hip issues, and so we need to get medicine and
yeah. I think you told me he was going to go to the vet.
Yeah. So I made the appointment, and it's in the morning, and so I'm just so like, okay, I have to be awake. I have to be decent looking.
Yeah.
I can't go looking like shit.
I know.
It's the worst thing. And I know. So, and I told Daryl, I'm like, okay, it's tomorrow, 9:00. We have to be there. We can't be late.
Right.
Because going to a vet right now is a nightmare.
It is.
And so
I can't get a grooming appointment till the end of September.
Yeah, it's insanely everybody's overwhelmed.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And so
they can't. They're told us it's staff. They cannot keep groomers.
I know. Everybody's going on their own, making more money.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, okay. He goes, all right, let's go. So we get in the car, we take him, and we take Sasha too, because she's, and huskies are loud and wild. And they drop hair everywhere.
Oh
They're just like, they're talking, and it's like, everybody's like, oh, look at those wolf dogs, We're
wolf
like,
dogs?
Yeah, because they look like wolves.
I know.
Little kids always say that. And
Right.
then, so we're walking around the parking lot. There's hair flying everywhere. Bodega's barking like a maniac.
Oh my God.
And so I call and I go, okay, Bodega's here for his checkup. And she's like, I don't have a bodega for today. And I'm
Shut
like,
up.
what? And she's like, no. She's like, I have a bodega for next week.
Oh crap.
And I'm like, oh. So I get in the
My
car.
bad. Can you squeeze us in?
No.
No, I know. I
And
know.
so I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you.
Was Daryl with
anyway.
you?
Oh, yeah. It was a whole family event.
Did he say anything?
Yeah.
Was
Oh,
he
yeah.
like, good job,
He's
Jamie?
like, I knew it felt wrong. And I'm like, but you didn't say anything. And he's
You just
like,
let us come?
He goes, you were so sure it was today and you were so adamant that we would just be here on time and all the
I mean, if you had a shred of doubt, you could have shared that with me.
he doesn't dare. And so
I was thinking that too.
and so I'm like,
Look, if she's
okay.
wrong, I'd rather us live this out. We'll go all the way through it.
Exactly.
And then it's fine. And I didn't do anything wrong.
And I was like, you know what? Every once in a while I fuck up, and I definitely fuck this one up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I appreciate the
Oh,
fact that
well.
he did it the way he did it, because Jerry would have been like, it's not that. And I don't believe anything he says. I'm like, you don't know anything. I know the calendar. I make the appointments around
Exactly.
here.
So then you show up and you're like, oh, it's next Wednesday.
And Jerry would be like, I told you.
Oh, it would
That's
be
how he would
endless.
be. Because
Yeah.
we're like brother and sister. It's ridiculous.
The Bickersons.
Oh my God. He was tapping on the hood of the car with his knuckle. He's like, is this plastic? When we got the new car, I looked at him like, stop that immediately. What are you doing?
Why are you putting a mark on this new vehicle?
Well,
Get
he
away.
was I mean, it was like he had never bought a car before. I couldn't understand. I'm like, what is happening?
This is a very normal thing that
And the
happens
guy
in
kept
life.
looking at me out of the side eye, and he's smiling because he could sense, he's like, oh, this wife is getting pissed. I'm like, oh, I am so close to assaulting him. You have no idea. I'm like, let me go for the test drive by myself.
Okay, so speaking of marriage, next time we
Yeah.
pass, so I thought I should say something. Daryl and I are celebrating our 25th.
I know.
25 years.
Is it Monday?
Tuesday.
Okay.
And we're going to go have a nice dinner
Lovely.
and that's it because we're going to London.
Because you're going, right.
That's our present.
That's the present.
But it was
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
because the other day Daryl goes, I just had this wave of panic. And I go, what? He goes, we're not getting each other gifts, are we? And I go, no.
God, no. Our gift is going to London. It's going to cost us a house payment.
We're going to be paying for the next 25 years on this trip. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, thank God. Because I got really worried that you were going to. And I said, I can't think of it's such a monumental number for us that I'm like, I can't think of anything even worth giving.
I think it's a big deal for anyone.
It is a big deal,
It's
but
a huge milestone.
I never thought in a million years we'd,
right?
nobody he did, but I'm like, whatever. I never thought that. But anyway, so yeah, and I'm like, I don't even know, like when somebody goes, well, how do you guys stay? How are you happy? How do you stay together? What do you do? And I'm like, well, I mean, because you guys have been together almost 25 years as well.
Jerry and I were getting together the year you and Joe got married.
Yes, so it's essentially
we were dating, basically.
So you're damn near close to.
I mean, at the time, I didn't consider it a permanent relationship.
Well, you didn't know,
but it ended up being, But you were.
Exactly.
I literally remember going to your wedding, and
Yes.
Jerry and I had only been living together for like a month.
Yeah, it was new.
And I didn't even
So
bring him to the
new.
wedding. No.
It's so weird when we look back on our wedding on who came and stuff, and how like Daryl's brother was dating a girl, and like he literally met his wife like a week after.
I
we got
remember because
married.
Brad brought somebody else to the wedding.
He did, but
Yeah.
he had been pursuing her for a while, and she's just like, "Fuck you," and then finally. She
gave him the
relented,
time of day,
and then they
yeah.
literally never were apart
Yeah.
since. So it was so funny to know that now.
It's funny.
So weird. But anyway, yeah. So it's like, well, how do you stay together? And I'm like, honestly, don't back off on the sex.
Yeah.
Ever. If you keep it regular, whatever your regular is, I don't care.
Yeah.
And when he's being an asshole, just ignore him.
The best you can.
I mean, literally, unless he's at you. But I mean, if he's just being a grumpy person, just be like, you know what? I'm going to leave. I'm going away. I'm doing something. Be grumpy on your own, and you will save yourself a lot of pain.
Yeah. I know it's the wrong person to ask, but I did ask Mom that one time. I said, how do you stay married so long? You know what I mean? I mean, she has religious reasons. I think that's what keeps them together.
For sure.
But
a lot of people do.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, they also don't have like a a really hateful relationship.
No.
It seems rather peaceful. I mean, I don't know a ton about it, but she said we never lose. What'd she say? She's like, we're always polite to each other and we are always respectful to one another. She's like, no matter what.
Okay.
She's like, even when you're furious, she's like, we don't go below the belt. She's like, because that's once you do that, once you go there,
once you go dirty.
Mm-hmm, she's like, it's really hard to recover. I'm like, well, that happened a long time ago for me.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say, I
don't necessarily think that's true. I do like the polite factor,
well,
like
it's just about being respectful,
saying please and thank you, and continuing to like, don't give up on that type of shit, even if you've been together for 30 years.
I make it every point to never let him know that I have to poop,
right,
or have gas.
Exactly.
I like to keep it sexy,
right,
and that's part of just.
That's why I don't understand women who are like that. They're like, oh God, we've been married for 30 years.
I know,
I'm
it's
like,
a very different. Just a very different way of looking at it. They're like, you should be able to do anything around your husband. I'm like,
bullshit.
I'm like, I can. I choose not to.
Thank you.
Because I don't want to be a pig.
Right?
I mean, I don't.
Other than sex, Jerry doesn't even really know when I'm on my period. Like if I have to tell him, because I'm like, look, that's not happening right now because I'm literally bleeding like a gunshot,
and you're not coming.
And that's not happening. But if the moment doesn't arise during that time, I don't say it.
No,
I'm not like, oh, God, I'm bleeding. I'm cramping everywhere. Ew, I'm passing blood clots. Like, why would he want to know
I don't
that?
say that. I definitely don't say that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can say anything to your husband. It's your husband. I'm like, no.
I will say this: as I've gotten older and I'm dealing with hormonal changes, I'm not day old bread. I have not dried out, but I definitely am experiencing hormonal changes.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
And I tell him about it, and his eyes just glaze over, and I'm like, okay.
He honestly doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit, and I'm like, okay, I've noted. I will not be letting him know about
I'm not venting to him about this particular issue.
My new elixirs and trying to avoid hot flashes or whatever. It's over.
It's mango. It's all natural.
It's my journey.
Yeah.
So anyway,
agreed. And you know what? That's it's very true.
But it's funny because they go, sex. Oh, come on. I'm like, well, it's not even just the act. It's the whole leading up and it's all the things.
Oh my God, it's so important.
Yeah, it's all the things.
I'm not saying you have to have, like you said, whatever your normal is.
Whatever your normal is. But I mean, don't
just give up on it and like it doesn't matter anymore.
When things are rough, like we went like 6 days, which is ridiculously long for us.
Right.
And I said, what is going on? He's like, what? I go, it's been 6 days. He goes, well, we come and we literally have to come to a conclusion of why that happened. Mm-hmm. And we have to like actively.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I know we're both really tired, but we have to do this. It's like chores. You have to do it.
We can't let the dishes sit in the sink one more day.
Mom told Paula, never let your robe get ratty.
Oh my God, she's so true though. But I mean, I love my sister, but everything she owns is ratty.
Right?
She could give a fuck.
She's like, noted, I'll do the opposite.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
God, I couldn't.
Anyway, so happy anniversary, Producer Deb.
Yes, happy anniversary to you guys. I'm so happy. Love you both.
Aw. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we will be back next week with another show. Bye.